Welcome to Oops All Segments, the very best podcast hitting your eardrums at this very moment. I'm Kevin.
I'm Thomas, and today we are here with special guest returning to the pod, fan favorite. It's Kristen Einarson. Fuck! God damn it.
I knew you were going to fuck it up.
I knew I was going to fuck it up too.
I knew too. You know, when I started doing stand-up, I was going by Kristen Taylor because that's my middle name, and that's very cool.
Oh,
and then I had a nightmare where my grandpa was disappointed in me for not using my family name, and then so I then decided to use my hard to pronounce family name instead of a cool name that makes me sound like a Nepo baby.
You brought great dishonor to the Einarson bloodline.
I really did. Yeah.
I like Einarson, and I think it's as somebody with a hard to pronounce name. And
it's very easy to pronounce.
My name gets mispronounced all the time. I get Rambaran a lot instead of Rambaran or Rembrandt. People just totally get it all over the place. And I don't really mind the anglicized like Rambaran. I
do feel though that it's spelt phonetically, like
Rambaran, especially because there's the extra R in the end. Like it really does all the work for you. I agree. But I feel like I feel like it's kind of it adds so much more personality without you having to do anything. Like Kristen Taylor could be any most likely white woman, right?
Yeah.
But Kristen Einarson.
That's definitely.
I did it. Fuck.
Yes. Fuck. Not so easy, is it, Kevin?
It's really
and now
not.
the shoe's on the other foot.
Okay, well, when can we get Kristen Einarson then? Because right now we have Kristen Einarson, and I'd like to get Kristen Einarson on the show.
Yeah, she's really funny.
I just said phone tog instead of phone tag. I'm somehow applying the weird hard vowel sounds in the wrong places everywhere.
That shouldn't be a problem for our audio only medium, right? That shouldn't be an issue at all. Kristen, what's new in your life? What's going on? What's up?
I have actually kind of a funny story from my evening last night. I went to Langside Grocery, which is a cool little bar.
Like this is a cool night.
Saturday
I'm
night
already. I'm fucking a bar called Groceries.
Yeah,
this is a funny story.
Yeah, that's how they can justify the prices of the cocktails.
Basically, yeah, it's like holy moly. But I went there with my friend, and they have a cat. There's like a neighborhood cat who kind of used to.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, I've
Her
seen
name
this
is
cat.
Trixie. She used to work there at Langside Grocery, but then someone called the health department, and now she's been like, she's not allowed to come in there. But because she's a cat, she doesn't understand. So like most of the night, I was there for probably like 2.5 hours. And I'm going to say 5 times the manager had to like run after Trixie, this little black cat. And she's like hiding. She's like going in between like the counter and the window. And I felt really bad for her. She's not taking this well.
It feels like they should. This is not someone who works there needs to take the cat, right? And and house it, and no longer like the cat's never gonna understand, right? The cat's not gonna come to the. I have staff members who've done that before, you know.
Oh no!
Yeah,
what have they done?
They refuse to leave. They'll sort of tuck themselves between, say, the ice cream machine and the wall and sort of say, no.
They threaten to turn themselves into the flavor of the month and sort of blend themselves up with the cream as it were.
They say, how about a me dream shake instead?
No.
Really scary.
Oh man.
That's the energy we're starting off with. We haven't hit the 5-minute mark yet, and the crowd is roaring.
This episode is trickling out, as it were.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's new with you, my friend?
What's new with me? If you're watching the video, you'll know I'm taking a big swing. I'm doing a man bun, which I feel like at the ripe age of 34 is an interesting choice, but I'm going.
It's the right time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like I often will change my look. It's like a normal thing about me. If anyone who's known me for a semi-long period of time will know I've gone through many phases of appearances. Mm-hmm. But I expect to lose my long hair in short order, likely be due to a play I'll likely be in, and we'll have to redo my do, as it were. And so when that happens, I just figured I want to make the most of my options. You know, having the long hair and having it is quite long at this point. It's never been this long. So I wanted to do the thing that the biggest swing I think you can do as a sort of pothead guy. And that's make sure everybody knows that you smoke weed by having a man bun.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
it does go against, like, the crunchy granola diet is also associated with that, which does not align with your restaurant ownership.
No, but that's actually been my breakfast for like the last 4 weeks is crunchy granola and yogurt. Yeah, like muesli, granola, yogurt, and I start my day off in a very hippie-ish way, and then as the day kind of bleeds on, I'll start off by getting a drive-through coffee, which is like relatively capitalistic, but maybe it's from a local chain. And then come lunchtime, I'm considering dining at a fast food restaurant, but instead purchasing from a locally owned business. And then by dinner, I'm buying a chain restaurant's food. And then come evening, I am supporting a capitalistic genocidal organization with full force.
God. Which organization?
I mean, I could name
like take your pick. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, any convenient, honestly, anything with a drive-through window and is likely to be that bad.
Yeah.
But it's McDonald's, to be clear.
Yeah.
Those fries. Those French fries.
Those fries are good. Yeah. God damn, I miss them every day.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, I do have a check-in, but I couldn't help but notice a little bit of signage in the back of your video.
What do you mean?
Some new text that's been laid atop your shelf.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And it's hard to read, but if you squint,
are you talking about the Spider-Man video, clock? Because there's like
just above the club soda drinks on the first.
Oh shit!
Now, see, gravity is defying your deceitful message, which says Thomas sucks.
Yeah, that's not true, Thomas. You're very cool.
Thank you, Kristen.
I didn't put that there.
Well, whoever did,
it was Trixie the bar cat
message. Yeah, it may have been a black cat, and you will have 7 years of bad. Fuck you, because I'm gonna write a message behind me next time so mean that you're not even gonna be able to get through the episode. So how about that?
Okay, I don't believe that. I don't think you could do something that would make me feel like I couldn't get through the episode, but that's fine.
Here's why I don't suck, Kevin. Here's why everything's about to be different, because as this episode comes out, I have a strong belief that the Buffalo Bills are going to be going to the fucking Super Bowl.
Oh,
shit. They're playing the Chiefs tonight.
We should get
on
Tommy
Sunday.
Bechtold back on the show. He's a huge Buffalo Bills fan.
Look, I don't know almost anything about them, but I do know my dad is from the Buffalo suburbs. I have some friends that love them, and I love an underdog story. They have never, ever won a Super Bowl, but one time they had 4 Super Bowl appearances in a row. They lost all of them. They had a drought of 17 years starting in the early 2000s.
I do love me a good underdog story. Yeah.
And famously, they had one of the greatest players of all time, O.J. Simpson, was on their squad and did some amazing work.
Wait.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, were you glazing OJ just now?
I wasn't glazing him. I think he obviously didn't stay at the peak physical condition that he was when he began.
Wow.
But OJ's run on the Bills in the 70s was legendary.
Right. It's just, this is not the first time on the show you've sort of done this thing where when OJ Simpson comes up that you kind of think he's like, his legacy. He like killed.
I know he passed away. Yeah, no, I know he passed away last year.
There was like
it's
that.
Really
to me, that's why.
Yeah, it's really funny. I didn't actually know there was a football team called the Buffalo Bills until right now. I thought that was like some sort of fucked up joke. But now knowing that OJ Simpson played on a team named after like a serial killer, Buffalo Bill, right? He was a serial killer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, he was. Yeah,
fictional killer was named after the team.
Right. Famously fictional serial killer, I think.
Right.
But I will say, OJ Simpson could have put some lotion on that skin, and then the glove probably would have slid right on.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Isn't that beautiful? I'll have you know, Kevin, he was acquitted. I'm not sure if you believe in a court of law and sort of a jury of your peers.
Certainly not, right? Just to answer that, I certainly don't believe in the court of law. Certainly not.
Yeah.
Not. Our court system sucks. Ass.
Beautiful. Well, nevertheless, all I can say is that it puts the lotion on the running back, or else it gets the ring again. They're getting a Super Bowl ring. First time in history. Let's go Bills.
Let's go Bills.
I believe in you.
I don't give a fuck about sports, so I'm willing to throw my support behind this team.
You gotta love an underdog. They've never won before.
Who are they playing?
Years not getting in the playoffs. They're finally back.
Who's the other team?
Well, the Chiefs are their team right now, which is leading up to the Super Bowl, and I would say pretty high chance the Chiefs win. But that's bad mojo. The Chiefs are very good. I see. But it's time for the Bills to take.
Is that Travis Kelce's team?
That is Travis Kelce's team. Kristen, you may know that I'm listening to the whole Kristen Taylor Swift discography right now because I lost a bet to
Kristen
Kevin.
Taylor Swift.
So I stand against Travis Kelce, although in her early songs she does sing about dreaming of dating the football star, and it finally came true for her.
Mr.
You're starting
Swift.
to see deeper meaning. Yeah. Monsieur Swift. Should we spin the wheel, T, and get started with the first segment?
Let's get into this. We got segments to do, folks.
Boom.
Here we go. Woo! Pick of the day. Participants must discuss headlines and images featured on the Guardian's Photos of the Day site.
The news.
What could possibly be
pictures of one man in particular, I imagine.
A Cheeto.
It's just going to be a bunch of people
how to blend his makeup. I don't know who that could be.
It's going to be a bunch of people hitting the fucking Roman salute.
Good.
So let's see.
Lord.
Photos of the weekend. It's going to be Lunar New Year preparations.
Oh shit! When is Lunar New Year? I'm ignorant as hell.
Coming up in a couple days. Do they say? Oh, and then we've got the possible ceasefire agreement in Gaza. I was trying to look for the lunar. Let's celebrate the potential for a ceasefire in Gaza. It's been that would be a horrible year.
Yeah.
And it may not hold, but even a second of peace for these people is nice. So I hope that maintains and they get the resources to rebuild. Kevin, can you Google the Lunar New Year date?
Yeah. While I look that up, I'm just going to mention that one time my mom thought it would be a good idea to ask me when Chinese Christmas was. Which is what I think she thought the Lunar New Year was.
Chinese Christmas, huh?
Oh my.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be the 29th, Wednesday. So coming up. This is only 2 days after this episode comes out.
And I'm going to write my letter to Chinese Santa and ask if I could please visit a rage room this year. Our next photo is from Sarajevo, and there's some people. So this is something I wish if it were more affordable, more accessible, I would recommend it to many of my clients as a therapist. It's a room where you just like smash stuff with sledgehammers. You can get all your rage out. Sounds pretty therapeutic.
There needs to be one in Winnipeg.
One just opened up. I think it's just outside the city. But yeah.
That's great.
I can't remember what the hell it's called.
It's actually called Dreamland Diner.
No, wait, don't. No.
You can smash up the place.
Right? Don't go to my diner and smash things. It's expensive. It's independently owned. Please don't. I'm trying to figure out what how it's like a year of a specific animal, right?
Yes.
With the lunar
it is
year?
the year of the snake.
Is that what's coming up? We're doing the year of the snake?
Let's see. We've got some devotees visiting a Buddhist temple in Sri Lanka. Some nice yellow and white umbrellas. Very, very aesthetic.
Yeah. I like this. This is, if you don't watch the video podcast, check out the YouTube or the Spotify video. I mean, I think half of the podcast platforms show video now. I don't know what's going on here.
People listen to podcasts on YouTube, but they still don't watch them. Does that make sense? Like it's just in the background. For some reason, YouTube's the preferred platform.
And I have an issue with this. I want to hear your guys' take on this, and I want to hear Kristen's take on this specifically. But lately they've been talking a lot about how streaming services need what's called second screen content to increase the second screen experience. And I see these shows. I was thinking recently about a show have you guys seen The Floor is Lava on Netflix?
No.
It's a game show that's produced by Netflix. It's clearly they shoot the entire season's worth of episodes in 3 days. They have this guy, obviously we're all improv and comedian people, but clearly a UCB instructor named Rutledge who just does these witty little quips while these people do these obstacle course things, and it's so underproduced, and it's so clearly they made it for fucking pennies on the dollar, and it's a show you don't have to pay attention to because all the interesting moments replay 3 times, so you can put down your phone and look at the screen, and this is a nightmare, right? This is bad that they're producing content this way.
The term is the slopification of media.
Right. What is that? What are you holding, Kristen? What was that?
This is a book that
a picture of a man with a didgeridoo. Oh, sorry.
Thomas, not everything is directed at you. Thank you. I know I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I shouldn't attack you yet. It's pretty early for that to be happening. But this is a book
you're good.
that my partner and I picked up yesterday. It's called How to Do Nothing, Resisting the Attention Economy. I've been reading. I read a lot generally. I usually read somewhere around 40 to 45 books every single year. Yeah. But I've been very determined now with the nightmare of society to read more. And this whole book is about how to protect your peace and how to be really intentional with what you're paying attention to. I just got a job a couple months ago. I'm now a social media manager. And so I've worked in communications for years, but now all I do is social media. And it's I'm definitely noticing my attention span, which is already bad because I have ADHD. Of course I do. It's even worse. And so to hear that we need this second screen content just feels bad. Anyway, that's my little...
I say this as we produce second screen content, and it's important to note a working title for the show was Internet Slop, right, Thomas?
Yeah.
Nice. Good. Great.
So we're only adding
we are creating right now third screen content because you can both look at the picture we're showing, which is unrelated to what we're talking about, listen to our conversation, and then also
the picture is a dog holding a gun, just in case you're not watching.
In case you're engaging us as third screen content.
Even the dog is multitasking.
Yeah.
That is one. You would think that's an American dog, and you'd be wrong according to the picture.
It's from India. This Indian dog holding a gun by the barrel, but I think could pull the trigger with its tooth if it needed.
I'm guaranteeing you that one's not getting, no one's deporting that dog if it showed up in America. I'd tell you that much.
Yeah.
That's
a beautiful dog.
It is. It is
this
gorgeous.
Has been the pick of the day.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the attention issue, because it is true that shows are becoming worse, more obvious, more repetitive to account for the assumption that people will not fully be watching them, which is if that continues, right, it's just going to get worse and worse. It's like a cycle that feeds on itself. So there's less reason to zone in on what you're watching because it assumes you aren't, which then pulls you into the other thing. And then the shows adapt to our watching behavior, so they get even more shallow and repetitive.
Because it's like a loop, a feedback loop. Do you think that like more, because like, you know, you see like in the 90s, it was like we had Smash TV, we had like people doing these hyper cuts. And do you think like we're going to see like a return to almost I mean, we kind of are seeing that, you know, in a way you want to grab your listeners' attention or your viewers' attention at any point, and you want to just kind of like.
Wow.
Oldie but a goodie. That one's always a treat to hear.
Yeah.
So fucking loud.
I just panic muted my headphones. I didn't know what was happening. I thought that was my upstairs neighbor. I am having a palpitation. Thank you so much, Kevin. I feel so good every time we interact. No, I do actually. I do.
I
actually,
did
in a way. Because the listeners may not know that Kevin is also, in many seasons, like a troll to his friends in real life. He'll send us deeply unpleasant and scary content. It's sort of, I've realized that Kevin has created in me an adult disorganized attachment style, which is the most dramatic attachment style you can have, where you're kind of pulled between anxious and avoidant. You're unsure what's safe. You crave attention, but also you're afraid of the danger that could come with it. And I actually think in a way he's doing a great service by making the internet so threatening to me. Just interaction digitally is so frightening that I feel I have to use it less.
Kristen and
I thank you.
Kristen and I were at an improv practice with Club Soda last week, and this is what has stopped my. This is not the only reason, but a inciting reason as to why I have decided to no longer share these upsetting shit posts with everyone. Is that I mean, one, my algorithm has started to annoy me. Kara and I sometimes scroll through reels once in a while, and when we do that. Now we can't use my phone or my account because my algorithm quickly devolves into like really disturbing shock content. And so, but Mo, guest of the show, a close friend of the Yule Fool, came to improv practice and said that I appeared in a nightmare that she had. That was entirely inspired because she had received a message from other guest of the show, Jane Hilder, about something. She received a DM. She must have accidentally swiped up on the video, so it started playing something from an algorithm. And because things that Jane receives are also in that group chat, the algorithm thought, oh, okay, you want more fucked up content. So it gave her this really upsetting thing with like a deer head. And so then she had a nightmare where I chased her up a hill with a human leg strapped to my own leg and a deer head on my head. And she was explaining
how did she know it was you if there was
she
a
knew
deer head
it was
on your
me.
head?
I was there. It was me. It was clear and it was in detail. And it really.
I don't know if this evidence would hold up. Oh, I saw a guy in a deer head, but it was Kevin for sure. He had 3 legs. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But it was
scary.
it made me reevaluate. So that was I feel bad now. Honestly, kind of peak, right?
Yeah,
I've infected people's nightmares.
That's epic bacon for real. And
yeah, exactly.
I'll speak a little to how it's affected me. I have to, on Instagram, kind of retrain my algorithm to show me big-breasted anime girls every couple of days.
Right.
Kevin will sort of swing the pendulum back the other way, so I have to kind of click on them, watch them a few times, click on another one, just to remind you this is what I'm looking for. Right. Thank you so much.
Right.
So. I worked very hard when my last job was at Women's Health Clinic in Winnipeg, and it was very heavy, very political, and I trained my algorithm to just show me cats. And since Kevin has come into my life in a more permanent way, that was all that work was for absolutely fucking nothing. So I will.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you can use the self-care skills you learned working at the women's clinic, and they will help you deal with being friends with Kevin, an even more harrowing experience.
Unfortunately, they don't teach self-care skills at any nonprofit.
Oh, right.
That's
sure.
like they teach them to others internally. It's just not. It doesn't apply. Anyway, sorry, Kevin. What were you gonna say?
No. I mean, it doesn't feel great to know that people are needing the assistance of women's health clinics due to the things that I'm doing. And
I don't think that was the implication, and even as a joke, we probably shouldn't imply that. I do understand we're having fun and stuff, but to suggest that you're sending people to seek shelter at health clinics is not necessarily something that you had to express personally.
Also, like women's health clinic is like they do abortion services, so I would be careful. Like this makes it sound like you're just getting everybody pregnant with your content.
I mean,
so
I wish.
Do you smell that? It's Bullshit Alert, the podcast where we lie, cheat, steal, and sometimes, yes, sometimes, it's the truth. Think you can sniff it out? Join Stephen Carter, Danny Marshall, and Lily Moss each week where we invite new guests, new stories, and of course, new bullshit. Find Bullshit Alert on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts.
And we are back. Kristen, do you have a segment for us?
I do. I have this emotional game I thought we could play together.
Ooh,
called We're Not Really Strangers. On the side of the box, it says, "Come curious, leave connected." I thought we could talk about our feelings. Usually someone cries if you play this at a party. It's really a buzzkill.
Oh, okay. And I should say before we get too started, Thomas, you've described yourself many times as come curious, right?
I'd like to know more about it. I'm interested. It seems cool, but I'm a bit of a novice in that field. So yeah, any tips or kind of suggestions would be awesome.
Great. So you're
for like having feelings? Because you're a therapist, Thomas.
I'm come curious. No, I think you misunderstood.
Yeah.
Although I'm a therapist and sometimes I do talk about relationships, I still have a lot to learn in the field of cum. So.
Fair. Don't we all?
Specifically that realm. Yeah. So what are we going to do here?
Yeah. So basically, like, I just like read a card and we all like answer, and then we feel more emotionally connected, or we get in a fight. I don't know what's going to happen. I haven't read these cards.
Sure.
I actually haven't.
We always agree.
So level 1 is called
Real and Raw.
Are you? I'm afraid. Why the hell did I suggest this? Oh my god!
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
As a spoiler alert, I mentioned this to Kristen before we started the show. I bought this same set of cards at the beginning of the pandemic, and I also bought the relationship or the dating expansion, and I never used it because I met my partner. Like Kara and I met online, and then like started hanging out right after the pandemic. So it was just not. It never worked out that way that I needed it for anything. And anyway. So I'm very excited to actually use it because I never opened it up.
Isn't the point of it to use with Kara to connect with her or something, to have deeper conversations?
Maybe, but it just never made sense. Hey, depending on how this goes, we'll see.
You could do it. When I moved in with my partner, Joey, we decided to take a road trip together like 6 weeks after we moved in together.
That's a choice.
So we
what if
just
we moved in together and we moved together at the same time?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we did a couple of these cards. We drove to Chicago. This was like about a year and a half.
I remember.
Yeah, I got to
that was like that's right. Didn't I like comment on your thing like, hey, go see Thomas's show while you're there? And you guys weren't really that close back then, right?
Yeah,
like
we didn't know each other.
Yeah, we met each other for the first time in person when you were drunk after doing Shakespeare.
Oh, it was
beautiful.
Yeah. It was beautiful. Forever bonded. I had a great time.
Yeah. I quit that job recently and I am happy. But I'm glad that you got to see it. The nicest thing of that job was when people would come to town, I had a show that they could come see pretty much all the time. So it was a perk for sure.
Yeah.
Let's do some questions.
Booyah.
Okay. So level 1 is perception. So like you're supposed to, there are 3 levels to these cards. We can do one from each or whatever the time allows for.
We'll see.
We'll see. So perception. Oh, what reality show do you think I'm most likely to binge watch? Explain.
Ooh.
So we can answer that for each of us.
Ooh, okay.
That's a good one. That's not too emotional.
Yeah.
Would it be fun to, I don't want to micromanage, or do I? But I guess to have that be your question and then we do a new one for Kevin and a new one for me. Or is it best to do each of them for all of us?
So we don't... Is the game's directive that everybody answer this question or that we should answer it for just you?
Oh, right. I think you take turns. Okay, so you guys answer it for me. I can pull another one that we can answer for one of you.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
Most likely
I got off easy.
Watch.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a reality TV kind of ignoramus. I haven't seen much of it. But
I have a certain brand of show I like, but I'm pretty ignorant too.
I am going to guess 2 that I feel like you would really enjoy. One that I've just heard about and one that I have seen. Traders, I feel like I could see Kristen being super into.
I love The Traders.
I've never seen it. What's the premise of the
Traders
show?
UK. It's essentially werewolf. But like you know the game Werewolf or Mafia, where it's like there are once a night they kill one of the group and then the group also votes out who they think is the person killing, and they're sort of competing collectively, and it's essentially like a long drawn out version of that, but it's always hosted by like sort of a B-list celebrity who's doing like a big like flamboyant character. And there's I think Alan Cumming hosts the US one.
Oh wow!
I love the host of the New Zealand one, and the UK one is great. It's a great show. Anyway,
it just struck me that you would enjoy the sort of social deduction element, the game playing, the relationships, the sort of toying with people in a fun way. No, I've never seen it. The other one I thought of was Nailed It, the Nicole Byer show where people fuck up cakes. That felt like a Kristen show that she might enjoy.
I see.
Interesting.
Sort of for the relatability, the disasters, but the kind of humanity behind it. That people aren't that good at it, but it's kind of cute. And there's
like an expressive comedic approach to that show.
Yeah,
too,
I also feel like Kristen has a bit of Nicole Byer, like that buoyant energy. I could see a bit of a parallel there.
Wow, thank you. Nice.
Okay, that's very sweet. That's very sweet. I think like, Kristen, I think I view in many ways as like a romantic. I don't know. Is that accurate?
Really?
Would you describe yourself as a romantic? I think you like to make things like, I think you like to the perspective you like to approach things with is one that is like seeing like
he's panicking. He's panicking. Yeah. He has no idea what he's trying to express.
No, I think you like to have like a sort of a hopeful or at least the shitty way of saying it is you look at things in a dramatic perspective. But I think it's that like you want things to have like a deep sense of life and meaning, and I think that reality shows that cater to that sense of like romance. I think something as popular as Love Is Blind might be something that you've been watched, because I think you also like to like know what people are up to, partly because it helps with stand-up, I think, and stuff like that too, but also you might just be interested in that shit. I don't know. So I think Love Is Blind is going to be what I say.
Okay. I love Love Is Blind, but like I would say I'm probably a romantic, except in the field of relationships. Like I'm very practical. I like to watch Love Is Blind, and I didn't used to be, but now I am. As I get older, I get more realistic about everything. But now I love to watch it and be like, what are you thinking? Oh my God. He lied to you about his credit card. You fool. So it's like, it's not like kind. It's like hate watching a little bit. But I do love it.
I think a lot of reality show is like that. I mean, I feel like to a degree, it's like, what are you doing, idiot? Is like a huge part of shows like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're definitely, the producers want you to get angry. They want you to be sort of upset with people's decisions.
And self-insert, right? To be like, I wouldn't do that. Yeah. I would do it this way. I would handle that problem like this. Yeah. I mean, that's the game show, reality show thing. Okay, cool. That was fun. Okay, what's Thomas's question for us?
Okay, Thomas. Finish the sentence. Just by looking at you, I'd think blank.
Oh my God. No.
So I'm going to go first.
Please.
Because I feel like Kevin is going to be a little harsh very soon. So I'd like to start us off gently. Just by looking at you.
If you are sincere enough, you might persuade him that it would be uncouth to change gears. So a lot of pressure is on you to sell this in a sweet enough way that he doesn't feel comfortable doing what we know he's preparing to do.
Okay, so just by looking at you, I'd think that you have at least 3 university degrees. Like you look very smart and very put together. I don't know how many degrees you have. I know you're at least a therapist. Yeah. So
I think you're right.
Weirdly, you are correct. I can't believe you didn't know this because I do have 4 university degrees. 2 of which I don't use at all. Yeah. But that's so funny. I feel like I always just wear a hoodie and black pants, and something about that reads highly educated. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. What are your degrees in? How old are you?
I'm 33. The thing is, I did 2 one-year masters that were like kind of part of a 2-year scholarship. So so you were cheating. I cheated.
Just kidding.
It's totally ill-gotten gains. I have a BA from U of M in English and Psych. And then I did 2 one-year masters in film aesthetics and then child development and education, which I thought I would be a teacher like my dad. And then my most recent degree, of course, is in mental health counseling.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. Hey, well, look at that. I was bang on.
That was really good. It sure would look ugly if somebody changed gears at this point, but let's
that's very true.
No, I listen, the show is called Oops All Segments, and I am here to honor the integrity of the show by actually aiming at trying to complete the segment properly, which is like, be honest and open. I'm not gonna do the comedy thing that is the more I do this, the more I talk like I'm gonna be sincere, the more it's itching me to not. I'll tell you that. The bug
hairs on my neck are standing up.
Yeah.
Terrified of what's coming.
My cat just left the room. He couldn't be in here.
Yeah, Trixie just wandered across my desk.
Hide your eyes, Stacy. Yeah. No, I think it's one thing that's interesting about Thomas and I's friendship is that we've known each other for so long, and I talk about how much I've changed, how much I look, and I look very different than I did when we first met. But Thomas, you also people grow and they've changed. We've been friends for how long now? 15
Since
years?
2009, late 2009, I want to say.
So that's like
15 years.
Yeah, 15 years. So that's a long time. I think the most like the first thing I think I notice about you when I think about your face is like your eyes. They kind of draw you in, and I feel like it gives off a very curious energy and like inquisitive energy because you're kind of like taking in everything with your eyes. And so I think there's something about that I feel is has remained true. Despite the fact that over the years you sort of weathered and waned and sort of they ain't been kind to you. Is all I'm trying to say. Gee.
Yeah, I am a wilted rose. My petals have fallen.
Most of that was very kind.
As the years have gone on, my wide-eyed excitement has transitioned to a trauma response, fear frozen in the sunken place and Get Out kind of look, tears streaming down my face as I hold my eyes open. I was surprised you didn't insert "come curious" when you said I was curious, Kevin, but I appreciate it. I hope that my large eyes present a receptive listening window.
I think
they do.
So I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, not to. I think this is the point of this, that these tangents ought to serve this way. But I think it must feel like quite a natural fit for you to be in there as a therapist, operate as a therapist, right? I mean, I know for our friendship, and I feel like for so many of the close friendships that you've established with your friends, there has been a sense of like open, honest, emotional communication that has been maybe unusual for the average, especially male bonding situation. So I feel like I think that's unique to our group of friends, and I do think that's in large part to just how you operate as a person. And so I assume that those things must work hand in hand.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's interesting because therapy you need a certain level of comfort and curiosity there. But then it's also different than a friendship. You're kind of trying to hold yourself at a slight distance and turn things back on people more often than you might in a friendship where you're sort of exchanging advice and ideas in a more equal way. And so it's also an adjustment. Like what I would love to do as I gain confidence is to feel like I can be my best friend self while I'm being a therapist. I think right now there's a little bit of that like professional layer,
like coldness.
Feels coldness might be too extreme, but I sometimes could see it reading that way, or just like I'm holding myself back because I want to do it properly,
right?
And I don't want to do things like give
a
advice.
Distance thing.
But at the same time, I know some people have therapists where they feel very close to them, like they're a friend, and it's a complicated thing. It's like, what is the boundary here? How much is it one-sided versus we're really sharing that kind of relationship? And ideally, I'm able to bring the best parts of myself there, but it's also different than with a friend. So that's been the very tricky tightrope walk, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had a therapist for a couple of years named David, who I found on BetterHelp.com. Wouldn't it be sweet if you guys could get that sponsorship? Just kidding. Anyway,
I don't think we would take it. It's sort of a
BetterHelp, but
I know
they are the biggest podcast sponsor in the world, I believe.
Yeah. I got $10 because they were selling all my information. LOL. Anyway, I chose David because he lived in Florida and he seemed so chaotic, but he was actually like a great therapist. But like, he was kind of nuts, and I appreciate him so much. Like, the longer I was his client for like 2.5 years, 3 years, and like I learned that he lived on a compound. I deduced that he probably owned at least 2 guns. He told me he doesn't read the news because if he looks up and sees a mushroom cloud, he'll know something bad happened. He threw his phone out of a moving vehicle on a freeway, and I was like, hell yeah, David. Anyway, he was great. He helped me a lot. I hope that you can one day become as chaotic as David was.
That's the thing. I feel like people love finding these therapists who are like kind of a hot mess or like weird and quirky like them. Yeah, and I'm like the most normcore person of all time. Like,
you're pretty.
I have some, but I don't have the like, I've made some crazy life choices myself. It's like, no, I'm pretty terrified a lot of the time.
You've played it smartly safe in certain ways, in certain aspects of your life. So it's been sort of yeah.
All right, let's do a question for Kevin before we close for today.
Should we do this and then maybe collectively answer like a level 3 one?
Yeah, maybe we'll do one final one.
To close it out.
That's great. This is a great segment.
It is. I like this a lot.
Good. Okay, so Kevin, what do you think Kevin's go-to karaoke song is?
I also got off easy. I feel like Thomas got the most.
You got the most. Yeah.
Thomas got a rough one.
These are level 1. Well, you guys were nice, but it's interesting because I do know a decent amount about Kevin's taste in music, but I'm not sure if there's a particular rap song that he would feel he could like uniquely kind of bring his energy to.
I think Ernest, like I don't do a lot of karaoke. And so I think like the last time, it's very plausible that Thomas has done karaoke with me more than almost anyone else. In fact, it probably is that you've done. I mean, I used to perform in a cover band, which was a different thing. But yeah. So
I didn't know this about you.
Yeah.
That reminds me that maybe like a Will Smith song could be a fun one for Kevin because it's a little bit funny, but it shows off your rap skills.
Right.
I could see, something like that, or maybe I don't know. I could see a Kendrick song for sure. I could see an ASAP Rocky song. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of. I could see a J. Cole maybe, but I don't know.
See, like it's interesting because Thomas and I, the rap that I like and appreciate and enjoy and listen to on a regular basis is often modern rap, and I'll sometimes share like they'll cross over those fields of interest will cross over with Thomas, but often I would say 9 times I have the philosophy about doing karaoke that I don't think you should do songs that other people don't want to hear. So like I think you have to keep in mind if you're presumably you're performing at a bar. I mean, if you're in a private space or you're at your home, then do whatever the hell you want. I actually just recently heard about the idea of doing like an at-home drunken karaoke party, which I think is a very good idea. And much better and much more appealing than going to a karaoke bar. But the karaoke bar, if you go to a karaoke bar, I don't think it's a good idea to perform a song people don't want to like stand and dance to and sing along with to some degree, which is not always the type of rap that I listen to and enjoy. So I'll mention to that, like, not that I dislike these songs, and that you're not out of the realm. I want to hear what Kristen's take is on this, but you're not out of the realm of like correctness there.
My guess is like Lose Control, Missy Elliott would be your go-to because it's so good. But also I could see you like on a dark night of the soul, just like doing like Everybody Hurts, you know?
you may not know this about me. I also can't really sing. I can't really sing. I can't really hold a note. If it calls for it in an improv show or something, I will try, but the skill is not there. So I don't. I would never. I wonder.
Do you ever do 9 Inch Nails, Kevin? Like Closer or something like that? I feel like that would be fun.
You like oh no, I don't do that. No, I'll tell you folks. So firstly, as sort of a bonus points to Kristen for guessing, or I think it was maybe Thomas. Someone said Will Smith. It was Thomas.
That was Thomas.
But I went to Mexico and did live band karaoke when I was with my family on a resort once, and I did that song because I didn't need the lyric prompter at all because my band used to play that song.
Which song? Get Jiggy With It?
Getting Jiggy With It, I think, was the one we did. I also know Wild Wild West very well. So those two songs I like a lot. I am very good. So it would be one of the songs that I used to perform with the band. Without Me by Eminem is a pretty big hit. That one's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, Lose Yourself is almost too obvious, but people...
I don't really like Lose Yourself as much. I feel like it's kind of... The energy of the song is a little... The Eminem sometimes does these like emotional highs. Like I don't really... They're okay, but I don't really get the appeal. I don't... they're not like... I don't want to listen to it multiple times on repeat. I want the song to have more energy than like Lose Yourself. Feels like it's got like, it's like sad, angry, and I don't know. There's something dark in it that doesn't feel fun. And not that there shouldn't be. That's not my favorite. And then also I really like doing Young MC's Bust a Move. That's a song.
That's good.
Here's a jam for all the fellas, right? You know, that song is it's got some length to it, but crowds like it. It's a little impressive. The verses are all kind of different. It's actually kind of hard because all the verses kind of sound similar, but they're different. And I like it. So yeah, that's those are kind of. It's nice to know that people think I might be like a broody singing person. That's definitely if I honed my ability to sing and could actually do it properly.
I could see you doing like a
style.
Linkin Park or something as a bit, kind of like going
Linkin
for that.
Linkin Park, just crying in my skin.
I could. I feel like you've done that on the podcast before. I've become so numb. I do think the three of us could do an incredible cover of Only with, of course, Lil Wayne, Drake, and Nicki Minaj, each of us doing one verse. I feel like could be a great showcase. And it's also about how they all are trying to have sex.
Isn't it all they want to have sex with each other?
Wow.
What the hell? Where did that? Yeah, this game isn't even the dating edition, and Thomas is trying to snatch.
Are we at a club soda rehearsal? Like,
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to feel this unsafe lately. Unless I'm at a club soda rehearsal. Yeah. I think I do. I love that song, and it has 3 parts, and I noticed the genders aligned, so I was like, that would be a fun one. Yeah. But anyway.
And we'd have to find someone to play Chris Brown, of course. But
of course, yeah.
Okay, we're nearing the end here. Let's do one third round
level
together.
3.
We'll all answer it about each other.
Okay, we're skipping level. I got a wild card. It said create your own question. No.
Fuck that shit.
Gonna do another one.
Yeah.
Oh, based on what you learned about me, what book would you recommend I read?
Okay.
Oh no, I'm so underread for this question.
So maybe we'll do this round robin. We'll each, if we can pick one book or even just a subject matter, maybe if we're not sure on the book itself to recommend. We'll start
Thomas.
You're much more well read than I am, T.
I can go first. Who should I suggest for?
Suggest for me, because you and I don't know each other super well.
For Kristen.
We've done like a handful of shows together. I've invaded my way into your podcast. This is now the second time that I've forced myself here.
Yeah.
So
Kristen, I'm going to ask a couple questions. Are you a fan of true crime? Do you like that kind of thing?
I really don't, actually. I think it's very gruesome. And I think it's very funny that all these women have anxiety disorders and they choose to relax while listening to stories of other women being brutally killed. Ha ha ha. Anyway, that's a hot take.
No, I don't think it is. I think that's how I feel too. But I'm reading a book right now that I was like, if you did like it, I think it would have been a good one. But instead, I'm going to suggest this very short book, which I find really helpful and is kind of, in a way, a path to self-care or to like self-reflection. And it's kind of a philosophy book, but it's about perception, which we've been talking about. So it's called How to Hold a Cockroach. And it's a short book about this little boy who runs into a cockroach and he's disgusted by it. He's scared of it. And then he has this moment where he remembers the first time he saw a cockroach when he was younger. His mom was disgusted. She was scared. She got it out of the house. And he realized after a while, you start to think that there's something in this thing that is disgusting, that is scary. And everybody seems to agree that that's the truth about it. And then a miracle happens. He forgets that about the cockroach and he looks at it in a new way. And he realizes that all of these assumptions that he brought to it were just that. They were just assumptions. And he could choose to hold the cockroach however he wanted. The rest of the book kind of applies that same philosophy to himself, to his past, to heartbreak, to the future, and all of these things. And it's kind of this short little book that reminds you that you know less than you think you do about all these things. And I think it's very profound and simple and beautiful. So I would recommend that.
Thank you. Nice. Okay, I have a book recommendation. Okay, I'll tell you how I take that. I'm offended to my core that you think I can only read a short book about how I don't know as much as I think I know. What the fuck, Thomas? Just kidding.
I guess when you put it that way, it does sound really condescending. Like, why don't you challenge some of your assumptions?
Yeah. No, but I've shared with you for sure, drunkenly, during the Fringe, more than once, that I project things onto everything. Everything.
I mean, so we all do, right?
Yeah. We all do, yeah. That's probably the point of the book, yeah. So I would like to read that. That sounds really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also just grab a cockroach once in a while. You see one?
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Just pick it up. Say hi.
See what's cracking.
Yeah.
Okay, so who am I supposed to answer for? You, T, I guess?
For me, I think.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I think I mean, let me ask this. Like, I know you recently completed reading that very large book. What was the are you reading anything else currently? What was the last thing you read?
Yeah, so that was Middlemarch, and now I'm reading In Cold Blood, the Capote book, which was what I was going to suggest for Kristen if she was into true crime. It's maybe the all-time true crime or quote-unquote true crime masterpiece book, and I'm loving it, but it is heavy. It's about, a family getting killed. Yes.
You know what I'm gonna recommend, actually? I just gotta look up what the hell it's called now. Fuck. Oh man. Guest of the show, Katie Curtis, director of Club Soda, gave me a book by a local author who I believe his name is Thomas Ball. Man, I think it's called Clockfire.
Okay.
And it's essentially a book of poetry. Yes, Jonathan Ball, not Thomas Ball. Clockfire.
Okay, I've heard
by
of him.
Jonathan Ball. And it's essentially a book of poetry that is essentially it says Clockfire is a suite of poetic blueprints for imaginary plays that would be impossible to produce. And so there's sort of these insane kind of weird premised plays that are very, very funny or unusual or thinky. And I think it's just a very fun little kind of, it's a light read, right? Because these are sort of just like essentially mostly one page little thoughts, but they're kind of fun and thought provoking and quippy. Something to look at.
I think I would really like that.
Because and it also it rhymes with the status updates that you've sort of worked with your dad on publishing and in the sense of like it's sort of micro content in a way.
I like that. There's a Sarah Rule book of like 100 short essays, and it kind of sounds like that, just little like theater thoughts and experiments and stuff.
And then if that isn't quite your take, I would probably go for something like this.
It's going to be okay. So this is The Origin of Feces, What Excrement Tells Us About Evolution, Ecology, and a Sustainable Society.
It's because I feel like you don't know shit. I just feel like you don't know shit.
And before I read the cockroach book, I would have been really offended by that. But now I bring a come-curious mindset to the whole matter, where I'm open-minded and receptive.
I deeply fear the title of this episode.
Kristen, for Kevin, what
give
is
me
your
a book.
I have two.
Kristen.
I have two that come to mind immediately. One is Sick in the Head by Judd Apatow. The title explains itself. I'm not going to explain it. Just kidding. It's a book of interviews with comedians. It probably hasn't aged well. It came out pre-Me Too. I'm sure there's a lot of bad things in there, but
back when comedy
I enjoyed
was
it.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Said like that with a
We're all philosophers. Didn't you know that? Just kidding. Anyway, so that's one.
Yeah.
And the other one is also kind of a joke, but Untamed by Glennon Doyle. It's about how if you tap into your inner cheetah, you can become an unstoppable person and leave your husband of many years to finally date the soccer player of your dreams. The woman's soccer player of your dreams. It's beautiful. It's actually very beautiful, and it's about like grabbing life by the horns, but it's also kind of like a book club.
Find my inner cheetah and leave Kara for a soccer player. Yeah.
Don't do that, but unless you want to, but don't do that because I love Kara and I choose
she's
her.
very sweet. She's very sweet.
Yeah.
Finding my,
In Europe, they call it a foot fetish that Kevin has, and he's gonna go.
I was gonna make a comment about how I really want to be like Chester the cheetah, but you sort of scrambled my eggs with that
dangerously cheesy joke that I made.
Yeah.
Amazing. That was like mostly a joke because it's a self-help book, but it's good. It's great.
That idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Kevin's got some animalistic energy with the man bun. He's learning to sort of take the shackles off and be his wild original self.
Yeah. Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
consider me unshackled.
We got to end the show.
Yeah. Kristen, do you have anything that you'd like to plug? Any shows coming up? Anything you want people to know about?
Yeah, on Wednesday, on Lunar New Year, I didn't know it was that. I'm having my brewery show at Barnhammer Brewing in Winnipeg. Kevin and I are both doing an improvised Groundhog Day. I'm doing the first half, and then I'm doing a weekend of split middles at Yuck Yucks on February 14th and 15th. So come see it.
Yeah.
Yay!
It's everywhere. I'll throw Kristen's social media and in the description for you to check out what's going on. As she mentioned, we're doing Groundhog Day on February 1st. I'm behind the ones and twos DJing for that show, so that'll be a lot of fun. Check that out at the Gas Station Arts Center. Tickets on sale now. And do I have anything else to plug? Yeah, check out What We Do in the Basement. It's a Let's Play Comedy D&D podcast that Thomas and I did for 70 episodes together before he scurried his little bitch boy ass off the show and left it in my hands, and now I'm there running shit, and it's good. Check those things out. Also key into The Real Debaters, because I think we're gonna end up on there right away. We'll be there soon. T, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, my sketch show Secret Family. Our next show is February 13th at the Den Theater at I believe at 8:30. Yes, at 8:30. I also just got cast on Trigger Happy, so keep an eye out for that at the Annoyance. That'll be every Saturday, starting soon.
The most American comedy show you can imagine, right? You guys all use weapons.
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
And speaking of that, I just wanted to end the show. I know it's a little unethical, but Kristen mentioned David, her gun-toting therapist, and I did source a photo of him that I just wanted to share to kind of close out the episode, just because he has got an interesting look, and I just wanted everyone to see Kristen's therapist right here. So there he is.
And it's the dog.
That's the dog with the gun.
Yeah.
The dog with the gun. She said he was
You made me so nervous.
He lived on a compound.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
Cute.